Hi. Today I'm going to talk about a really important subject to me, how to make more friends. This is a really powerful and difficult topic to talk about because from the ages of when I was born to when I was about 20 years old, I had no idea how to make friends. So if you're someone that's in this position, then I strongly recommend you listen to this video and take in everything I say because it's really, really important that you listen to every word and you really think about what I'm saying. So I'm going to talk about how to make more friends. I'm going to give you an emotional side of the equation, the side that's in your brain, because your brain is screwing this up right now, and then the practical side of how you actually go out there in the world and meet more friends. So when you've got the emotional side figured out, the practical side is going to be much easier, and when you've got the practical side figured out, the emotional side is easier. They help each other. So let's just talk about the emotional, mental side first. The first most important thing, and I'll go through a few steps. Step one is you have to start accepting who you are, and you have to accept that you are enough and that you can actually get friends and you deserve friends. Because when you don't have friends for a while, it's very easy to think, well, I don't have friends because I'm a bad person, or I'm lonely because I don't deserve it. When actually that's not true. It's just because the way you've been brought up or the situation you've had in your life has led you to not having friends. For me, the reason I didn't have friends was because when I started school, I thought the way to get friends was to act out and to be like the class clown and to poke people and annoy people and be the really annoying kid. I was the annoying weird kid. And that strategy didn't work, but what it led to was me not noticing social cues, which then made it even worse. Because then when I was 14, 15, 16, in my teenage years, I wasn't so annoying anymore, but I couldn't spot the social cues, so I'd say something that wasn't funny, people would give that weird look, and I'd carry on making the not funny joke, and I'd carry on trying to vie for their attention, and it wasn't working, and I didn't notice it wasn't working. So really don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. You have to start realizing that you are enough as a human being, as a person. So that's step one. Step two is you have to start thinking in the mindset of honesty. Honesty leads to trust, and you have to have patience. So when I say honesty, I mean when you go out there trying to find friends, you don't want to be getting friends. You don't want to be thinking, okay, I'm going to tell everyone that I'm this cool person and they're going to love me. No. It's better for you to say that, you're lonely. People connect to honesty. It's better for you to be honest. If somebody says, what are you going to do tonight? I'm just going to go home and chill on Netflix. I'm going to pet my cat. I don't know, something lonely people do, I guess. Honesty, rather than saying, oh, I'm going out with my friends to this bar. It's going to be so much fun. People can really feel that you're being dishonest. So better to have honesty and patience. You want to have patience. My goal when I started trying to make friends in my early 20s was one friend a year. If I could make one friend a year, and for me a friend is just someone who I talk to every once in a while. That's a friend. If I can make one of those connections a year, I'm in a good place. So lower the boundaries for success and just say one friend a year. That's your goal. That's step two. Step three is you've got to start coming from the mindset of love and giving and sharing to other people. But you don't want to do it too much. So there's a point where you do too much. And there's a lot of people that are lonely out there that are really, really nice. And maybe this is you. You give and you give and you give and you give and you never get it back. So there's this law of reciprocation. David Buss, the evolutionary psychologist, talks about this in his most amazing textbook, Evolutionary Psychology, and it's the law of reciprocation. And this law states that you want to start off nice, you want to start off giving and sharing, but if the person is an arsehole back and throws it in your face or ignores you, don't keep giving, just let that person go. Remember, one friend a year. You don't want to focus on that one person if they're an arsehole. You don't want to be friends with everyone either. You want to choose your friends. You want to be careful about who your friends are going to be. Some of your friends, sometimes you'll meet people, they'll want to be friends with you, and you won't want to be friends with them. And you will get to that point where you have so many options for friends that you are choosing your friends. I know right now it seems that might be crazy if you don't have many friends, but that does happen. So you want to have that love and that giving mentality as you start. And if you receive it back, for example, you go out for coffee with someone and you buy them a drink. Then the next time you go out for coffee, there's two options. Either they buy you a drink, or you both pay for your drinks, or they don't buy you anything and they expect you to buy them another drink. Freeloaders. If they're a freeloader, cut them out. You don't want to be friends with that person. But if they buy you a drink, then there's that reciprocation, and you can keep being nice to them. And as you develop these friendships, you can do bigger and bigger gestures. You don't want to do crazy big gestures to someone you don't know, because it's kind of creepy. You're doing too much giving, and they're like, what does the person want? There's always that manipulation there. So I'm talking on a lot of levels here. So whatever level you're coming from, you'll find different practical tips here. So that's an overview of the emotional side. So there's a lot of power if you start working on that emotional side. The most powerful, overarching rule that you can come from if you want to find friends is to have self-love. Just repeat this to yourself every day. Self-love, self-love, self-love. When you love yourself, people are attracted to that. Think about these two scenarios. There's two people in a room. One of them, and both start talking to you, let's say you're at a party at different times in the evening. One is coming with a smile, comfortable, and is saying, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, oh, I'm having a great time. Oh, I spoke to John. Have you met John? It's coming from a place of, I'm good enough, I love myself, I'm okay. Think about that scenario. Now think about this other scenario. The next person comes along to you and says, hey, yeah, this party kind of sucks. I was trying to speak to that guy before, he didn't really like me. Can you feel the difference in the vibe? One is coming from self-love, one is coming from self-hate or just not self-love. You want to be around the person with self-love. So if you are that person with self-love, if you embody those feelings, I'm good, I deserve it, I like this, I'm good at this is where I'm happy, I like going here, I like going there, this thing likes me, it's all love, like, that's a person of self-love. Other people will be drawn to it and they'll want to hang out with you. So start thinking about that. Maybe make lists of self-love, of why you love yourself. Maybe write 10 things that you love to do, or places that you love to go, or start reading articles online about self-love and really start to understand it. Maybe you didn't know that was a thing that was missing, and that's a thing that's causing you to not have so many friends. So now we've covered a lot of the emotional, mental side. That's something that took me years to figure out. So if you're just watching this video in 5 minutes, condensed, flat, then it might be a lot of stuff and it won't all go in. So I recommend saving this video, bookmarking it, putting it somewhere you can come back to it once a week or every month. And you'll keep figuring out levels of emotions there. But let's talk about the practical side for a bit. So what's some practical things that you can do right now that will help you start getting friends? Maybe you're already working on the emotional side. So one tip for practical, and I'll give you 5 in this video. One tip for practical. Write down your interests. So things that are interesting to you or you're interested in. Now, if you are someone who thinks they have no interests, I promise you are wrong. As a human being, you are wrong. I guarantee it. Your interest may be Netflix, TV shows, Facebook scrolling. Those are interests. You like doing them, anything you like. If you like bread, your interest might be bread or baking, or cooking, or food, or, I don't know, exercise. Go to a website and search list of hobbies, see what you like. If you don't have any interest, you genuinely don't have any interest, you literally just sit at home and do nothing and you stare at a wall all day. Staring at a wall might be your interest. But you might want to go out there and figure out what you could be interested in and start acting on those interests. So find a list of your interests. Then take that list and see what can be connected to a social aspect. Something social, including other people. So let's say your interest was Netflix. You could go to a Netflix and chill party. I know that means something different. If your interest was gardening, you could go to a gardening club or invite people to a garden and flower together or plant trees with a group. If your interest was yoga, you go to a yoga class, start a yoga class, that sort of thing. Or do yoga in the park, whatever. So connect social aspects to those interests. Practical step number 3. Sign up to a website called Meetup. And I'll give you links for everything in the description. So sign up to a website called Meetup. It's where you can find local groups in your city of people, normal people, who are all interested in the same subject. So you might find a meetup that says, business meetup school. They'll go, they'll talk about business. Oftentimes these meetups, they have a leader who is running the class or something, the person who organized the meetup. So it might be a type of class where there's a person and they're speaking to a group. And that's fine because you're in a group. You can talk to people at the beginning, you can talk to people at the end. And when you have all the emotional mindsets that you've had before that I spoke about in this video, accepting you're enough, honesty, trust, love, sharing, giving, self-love, all these things, I promise you people will be drawn to that. So sign up to Meetup. If this is really, really scary, this stuff to you, then take it a step at a time. Just sign up. Don't look at the website for a week. That's what I did. When I actually started with Meetup, that was the first time I broke out my social comfort zone. I signed up and deleted my account, and signed up and deleted my account, and finally signed up to one class, and then I was sweating so much. I think I showered like 3 times that morning before I went, and I actually went, and that was the beginning stages. So sign up to meetup.com. That's a place where you can meet a lot of people. And the 4th step is make the first move. So when you're in a situation where you can talk to someone, don't expect them to come to you. I know that if you have a ton of self-love, people are more drawn to you, but you have to be the one to make the first move. I now say hello to almost every person I see. I know that sounds crazy, but almost every person I see, I say hello to. It's ridiculous. Person walks past me in the corridor, hello. Person walks past on the train, hello. It's just become a habit, and obviously it's not everyone, but whenever I'm trying to develop this habit, which is most of the time, start making that first move. Say hello to people as you walk past them on the street. Say good morning. Say how are you to a bartender instead of just asking for your drink. Have a chat with the shopkeeper. When you go to a meetup class, talk to the organizer. Talk to the people sitting next to you. Shake their hand. Say hello. Start a conversation. You never know what might happen. So that's step 4. And also, step 4 includes making the first move with messages. You want to talk to people first. You want to send them the message. You want to send them the email. I bet you've got a ton of people on your Facebook you don't really communicate with. Why not try meeting up with one of them? Go for a coffee. Make that first move. Ask them out. It doesn't have to be weird. Just say, hey, I'm in the area. Let's get a coffee and catch up or something. Anything. And 5th practical tip is take a social freedom class. That's something I did to start being more social. Social freedom class is where you go and you practice being social. So you go out and you might get embarrassed in public, or you might talk to a stranger. I did things like lying down in the street. And getting social judgment really helps with that self-love, because self-love, if you have self-hate, it's often because you think people don't like you, and that reflection of yourself gives you that image. So if step 1, that person hates me. Step 2, therefore I am a hateable person. Step 3, I hate myself. So that's kind of the process of self-hate. Self-love has to be, that person is not thinking about me at all. I think about me at all. And finally, I love myself. I want to love myself. So going out and getting judged in public helps that, because some people, if you're lying on the street, people are going to stare at you. Some people are going to love it and smile. I got people high-fiving. I got people lying down on the street next to me, hugging me, kids wanting to play. This mother and daughter came and lay down next to me and said, you're so cool, you're doing the funnest thing. So some people are cool. Other people are very different. Other people are angry and self-hating. This one guy, he walked up, he stared at me like, oh, what are you doing? And then he walked around me while glaring at me, giving me death stares from hell. And then as he walked away, he's like looking over his shoulder at me like I'm a scum of the earth. So I realized when I was lying on the floor, that was the first time I had the visceral, real realization that some people are happy, some people are angry, some people are sad, some people are anxious, and this all manifests in the ways they communicate with you. It doesn't mean that they're thinking about you. So if someone gives you a weird look, like, who are you? They're probably an anxious person. If someone gives you a smile when they look at you, they're probably a happy person. If someone gives you a frown and a menacing stare when they look at you, they're probably an angry person. It's never a reflection of you. So that's something that doing a social freedom class helped me do. So let's just go over 3 main big points you can take away today, because I know there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of levels to this video, and it's longer than my usual videos because it's something that I think I really need to talk about and people really need to hear it. So 3 main big points. First one is be positive. Remember the person at the party, the 2 different situations. You want to be positive. Even if things are going terrible, it's because things are going to get better, or it's the worst they'll ever be so they can get better. Or It's a learning experience. Always try and have that positive aspect to your personality, and if you don't have it now, develop it. People are drawn to that, people want to be around that, and you'll make more friends when you're more positive. It's a fact. The next thing is self-loving. You have to be more self-loving. Remind yourself every day of why you love yourself. Do activities that make you feel love for yourself. If you enjoy yoga, or you enjoy running, or if you enjoy baking, do it more and you'll love yourself more. Then be the one that makes the plans. That's the third step. Be the one that takes action and makes the first step. So contact that person and say, hey, let's have a chat. Hey, let's go out for coffee. Or you're at a meetup. Hey, how are you? Why did you come to this meetup? Or, hey, great meetup today if you're talking to the organizer. What made you want to organize this meetup? Should we get a coffee? Be the one to make the first move, and you will be astounded at the level of reciprocation that people have. Remember, reciprocation is an evolutionary strategy. So if you start by being nice, people who are normal, emotional, stable human beings will respond with reciprocation. So if you're nice and you're positive and you make the first move, people will be nice and positive back. And it's so easy to develop friends. I find it one of the easiest things to do now. And in just the last couple of years, even though my goal was 1 friend per year, I've developed 5 to 10 friends. And I can't even handle having that many people contacting me and wanting to meet me. Right now, my challenge is to follow up with people once I've gone out for coffee with them, because I forget that that's an important thing to do, because I didn't know that. So take it one step at a time. Have a goal of 1 friend per year. Be positive, be self-loving, and make the first step. And I promise you, you will learn how to make more friends than you can handle. So this was a very touchy subject for me, and it makes me so happy and proud to be able to actually make a video like this now that I've gone through these things in my life. So thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best, and check out my other videos as well. If you like this video, subscribe, like, comment with your questions. Here's a question for you. What is one takeaway that you got from this video, and one thing that you're going to do today or tomorrow to start being self-loving, to start going out and making friends, and to start changing your life? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.